What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Anthony, and we are here today to finally jump into recruiting for our Old Dominion team in the very first preseason. I guarantee you I am the only content creator for EA Sports College Football 26 that did 3 full videos before I even recruited in the preseason. I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm just saying it's unique at the very least. In the first few videos, we talked about the schemes we were running, the 4-3, and the air raid of USC, Lincoln Riley's offense. We talked a little bit about how the players fit, what players we were looking for. We went through the roster. We made some key decisions on which players fit better in their specific roles. And now we're going to talk about recruiting. Just as a quick heads up, I've said it before, I'm not going to edit ODU's schedule at all for this first year, and I am going to be playing on Heisman. So I'm sure this is not going to be easy. I believe we play Indiana in our first game. But before we get there, let's talk about recruiting. Let's talk about which players we're looking for. Some tips on recruiting that I have found to be successful. And I'm sure that there are other people out there who could tell you better how to recruit. But I'm going to really focus on doing it from our perspective here, which is how do we get the right players for our schemes to bring them in and to make sure that they are maximally effective in what we are looking for. Because again, as a reminder, we're not looking at overalls in this series. What we're looking for is players and how they fit, okay? So the first thing we're going to come to is this screen here. If you've never done it before, it's a gigantic list of prospects. And the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure that we are getting the right view of this. And the way that's going to start, for me, is always by using our home state as a guide. So we are ODU. Our home state is Virginia. He said with like a mild degree of certainty. Norfolk, Virginia. Dope. Okay, I was right. So in that, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at our home state and who is available here. Now, I don't think we're going to get very many of these guys, but here's one tip that I've definitely looked at. Look at not only the deal breaker, which is playing style, which is not going to be a problem because we're going to throw the ball a lot. But look at the schools that are interested. If you look at these schools, they're much bigger than we are. Typically, this is not a guy who's going to go and say, hey, I want to play for ODU. So I'm not even going to bother with Mr. Robinson here. And instead, I'm going to start looking at some other players from our state. Typically, where you're going to find yourself in this first set of years with a bad team is really looking for 3-star players as the holy grail, okay? Get 3 stars, get depth, and then focus on getting playmakers in years 2 and 3, okay? I like to start with a good depth class. I think Emeka Rusau is a great example of somebody, a well-rounded tackle. Scott Fasano, who is a gap specialist. That means he is a pass-rushing defensive tackle. So we're going to take him there. How about Joel Lake? He's a pass protector. Looking at Buffalo, Penn State, ECU. There are smaller teams on there. That's what I like to see. Cornell Zhu, who's a contact seeker. Again, not really our kind of guy. 207, big running back. That would be me putting on 20-ish pounds. That's a terrifying set of I don't, is he a box? I don't understand. All right, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We do have a right edge power rusher, Dakota Strange. First off, great name. Excellent name. Let's go ahead and look at the deal breaker. It's playing time. We'll have plenty of that for you. An athlete, a power rusher named Bryce Wolf, Duke, Rutgers. Big schools, not interested. Avery Cheeseman, great name, pure blocker though. Do we need a kicker? We don't. That's good. Elusive route runner here from Chesapeake, Virginia. Doug Carlisle. We like him. An elusive route runner would play in the slot probably in our offense. So that's a good one to take there. Artie Maben. Bump and run corner. I think we need all the corners we can get. So let's take a look at Artie, especially since he's taking a look at us. We are on his list. We are 3rd. This feels very attainable. I'm very happy about this. Right tackle Joe Uzude, small schools, Chester, Virginia. He's a JUCO guy. Sounds like an Old Dominion Monarch to me. Let's take a look at some other dudes. And now we're into the 2 stars. So we want to start with the 3 stars. The 3 stars are going to make up the guts of our roster. That's the way we want to think about it. So what are the states around Virginia? The game doesn't have a map, which I'm in the Northeast United States. I don't know where things are that aren't in my part of the world because, we're arrogant like that. Map of the U.S. I'll probably put one in the edit here too, just because, I'm sure I'm not the only person that doesn't know my geography as well as I probably think I do. But let's take a look at it quickly. Oh, God, it's like one for kids with a whole bunch of colors on it and stuff. I feel very dumb. All right, so we got North Carolina, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, New Jersey, Delaware. What about Delaware? So Delaware is an interesting one. I try to look for the states where there probably aren't a lot of great players, but there also are probably not a lot of schools that are going to be recruiting those players. Delaware looks like a non-starter for us, unfortunately. Oh, that's Wyoming, not West Virginia. Can't read. Hold on. Let's look at this. West Virginia. Okay. Antoine Stoner. Interesting player. Physical route runner. He's the best player in the state. He wants to stay close to home. Hey, man, we're close to home. I think there's a good chance he ends up at Virginia, but I'm willing to take that chance. Let's throw the alert, as they say. And then down here we have John Witt, who's a gritty possession receiver. We could use a possession receiver. That sounds like one of our underneath guys who plays in the slot. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at Mr. Witt as well. What else we got? Let's try North Carolina. Even though there's about 77 colleges in North Carolina. My brother-in-law is a UNC doctoral graduate. He's very fancy. I am not. Oh, God, what I wouldn't do for Matthias Cisco. Not going to happen, though. That's okay. Titus Moffitt, no thank you. Not going to happen. Neither is Stephen Clark. Ezekiel, oh my God, Ezekiel Rich has a good name. And we're 10th on his list, and he's looking at small schools. His deal breaker is proximity to home. That's great news for us. We're going to put him on the list. How about Connor Allen? He's a blocker, man. But he wants to play at small schools. I'm starting to worry about not having a tight end. We don't need one, though. All right, so let's pass on that. Another gritty possession guy. 5. So I got to tell you, at 6'5", being a gritty possession guy, I'm not against that. It's like Mohamed Sanu size, for those of you who remember Mohamed Sanu. That feels like a guy that we might be able to use. Same thing here. Bunch of small schools. We're 9th on the list in North Carolina. Let's get lucky. It's because it's his name. I don't know if you guys saw that. All right, let's go here. Anthony Merriman. Great first name. East-West playmaker, looking at small skills. We're not on his list, but I think we might be at some point. How about George Yates? Looks like he is going to play somewhere in one of these big schools. Mississippi State, yeah, nothing there. How about Steve Catula? Steve Catula. We are 5th. I like the way that sounds. I like a boundary corner. He wants playing time. I have playing time to give him, so that's good. A box specialist. So Trevor Droge is a guy we would probably take from free safety and move him to strong safety, or perhaps even to linebacker. 6'2", 183, a little bit small for linebacker, but let's see if maybe he would put on some weight in the offseason. But that being said, I think I'm interested in that. We need talent. There's no question. Jaden Body, interesting. Another gritty possession guy, another kind of Mohamed Sanu-sized guy. Larry Sue. Interesting, because he wants to play at NC State, but if NC State doesn't take him, it feels like an opportunity. We're going to give it a shot. And that's probably it for North Carolina. Let's take a look. And now that we have 19 people on our board, we probably can go back simply to the recommended. Here's the one thing I am going to say. I would probably start with the recommendeds by doing a search and saying, hey, show me the 3-star play, the minimum 3 stars first. And then we'll go to 2 stars after that. That's all fine. Wait, is there a maximum? I should have did 5. I should have did a maximum of 4. Okay, cool. And that's good. Ooh, Kevin Mazza would be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's look at some dudes. Eric Levine, he is from Starkville, Mississippi. Looks like he might be going to Tulane. Looks like he wants to stay close to home. We're close to his home. Let's give it a shot. How about Trevor Honeycutt? Trevor Honeycutt is interesting. It's a playing style thing for him, so I'm going to take him. He's from Folsom, California. I don't think we're going to get that one, but we'll give it a shot. Silas Priest, probably a little bit too rich for our blood, plus he's a contact seeker. A backfield threat, which is a quarterback, which I believe is a quarterback or a running back. Bowling Green. This guy looks for playing time. We're going to put him on our list. I don't necessarily think we're going to get him. I'm going to scroll down to some of these. I'm going to scroll down to the 3 stars. So here, actually, no, let's do a search. Let's make 3s and 3s. So let's do a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 3. How does that sound? Because I don't want any 1-star players. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at these. How about Mr. Cadella? Josh Cadella is from St. Louis, Missouri. Seemingly wants to play for Arkansas State. conference prestige. That's a little bit of a problem, but we'll give that a shot. Marco Anthony looks like he is not terribly interested, but he does want to play close to home, and we are close to home. Lyle Strand, Strenad, Honolulu, Hawaii. But he wants playing time, and I have playing time, so let's give it to him. Hippenhammer. What about Henry? Sorry. Henry's going to play somewhere big. Deacon Hippenhammer, which, again, I have 8 receivers on the board, so you're going to stay, but that's okay. Cool. So now we have our 35 names here. So the key thing that I like to do in my first week of recruiting, so the preseason week, is I like to make sure that I scout as many of these guys as I possibly can and not go to the wrong thing and accidentally go to transfer portal, which doesn't make any sense right now. So what I'll do here is I'll sort these guys by their national rank, and the reason why is the 5-star guys go faster than the 4-star guys, go faster than the 3-star guys, go faster than the 2-star guys. So what I'll do quickly is I'm just going to scout Eric Levine and basically say, hey man, is this guy any good? I will scout him the whole way. You are noticing right now that this is the hard part about not having recruiting. It is taking forever to scout these guys. It's taking 50 points to scout them. Eric Levine looks like a non-gem, non-bust. Gems have a better chance of having better development traits than busts. But that being said, you can definitely get a bust that is star or a gem that is impact or something like that. So just a heads up that it isn't 100%, nor should it be. So I'm going to offer Mr. Levine a scholarship. I'm going to do the same thing with Trevor Honeycutt, our elusive route runner from Folsom, California. He has some good skills. 84 speed, a little disappointing on that one, but he would be the best receiver on our team, so we're going to take him. Mr. Mason, he is a backfield threat from Omaha. It does look like his best skills are carrying the ball. I'm thinking this looks like a running back. This looks like a running back. Okay, cool. We'll give him that. Marco Anthony. Okay, so Marco Anthony is a bust. Here's my thought on busts. When you're a bad team, don't be afraid to take on a bust. The reason why is because, yes, of course, there's a chance they're not as good, but transfers are so crazy in this game. Doesn't it just make sense to get what you can out of the player anyway? And with us, if Marco Anthony is going to come in and he's going to have a chance to compete for playing time, I don't think I mind that. Let's look at his raw stats. 85 speed. Let's assume this is a running back. He's an athlete, but he looks like a running back. 85 speed, 91 acceleration, 84 change of direction, carries at 78, breaks tackles at 70, catches at 72. He might be our long-term gadget guy, or maybe even a slot receiver. I still think Marco Anthony's going to get a scholarship from me, or at least an offer to come on home. Okay, so we have our first gem. Callum McCordis, hell yeah. Welcome. Please come and play for us at ODU. Honolulu, Hawaii. Good. All right. He's adrenaline, which is good. That's a good mental skill. He wants the playing time. I have the playing time. That's all good. So now I have a pretty good view on the first, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's how many scholarships we get out of 10. The first 10 players, we have a pretty decent view on them. So this way we can go ahead and we can start considering what our recruiting plan will be. Obviously, next week they'll respond to us and we'll get the bumps or not bumps in their offer status, or in their interest to us based upon the offers we gave them. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we don't wait too long to cut bait on some of these 4-stars if they make it clear that they're not interested. So let's go ahead and let's do our week advance. One last thing, coach skills. First of all, I made a random coach. His name's Christopher Barbieri. Literally put a name generator together and it said Italian American football coach, and this is the name that came back. And my wife's name has Chris in it, so I went for it. Cool. We made ourselves a tactician, Mr. Barbieri. Mr. Barbieri's tactician skill is going to be offensive line. So the reason why we do that is because in the air raid, as in most offensive, the reason why we did that is in the air raid, as in most offenses, if the offensive line doesn't work, nothing works. So as a result, we said, hey, let's get this pass block, impact block boost, so that when we go to play games, we'll have a little bit of that boost there, so we can talk about. We can get our. Let's get the boost on the offensive line for pass block and impact block, so that we can go ahead and we can start solidifying that offensive line, being able to run our passing concepts and things like that. So that is good. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and let's hit the advance, because the advance is going to have. We're going to have a little bit more recruiting before our first game, which again I believe is Indiana, which I should definitely make a strong drink before I go ahead and play that game. All right, man. You see, all these guys are like, hey, I don't know who the hell you are. I don't know, why would I play for you? And I don't blame them. So our first week's a bye week, which is great. We'll get one more week of recruiting into. So let's take a look at how things have changed week over week. Let's start with Mr. Levine. So as you can see, we have made no headway. We have not entered his top 10 in any way, shape, or form. I think there's a pretty good chance we'll probably cut bait there. Same thing with Trevor Honeycutt. Theo Mason doesn't look like anybody's made any headway here. Theo Mason is definitely a guy I am interested in, so I'm going to send the house on Theo Mason. One of the things you'll notice is I like to send the house on premium players at the beginning, and then slowly walk those back. So I'm going to try one more time on Antoine Stoner as well, just because I think that he is a unique player on our board. I don't think we have a receiver that is anywhere as good at this anywhere else on our board. Okay, Josh Cadella, who I was excited about, if you remember, we've moved up to number 4. That's great news. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to send the house on Josh. Marco Anthony is our bust. We didn't make any headway there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to cut bait here, just because I think that since he's a bust, what's the point in wasting all of that time? Callum Marcordes, on the other hand, he is our gem. Our gem, we want to make sure that we get to make sure he feels very wanted here at ODU. Lyle Strand from Hawaii. We did not make any headway here, but we are going to do this because, again, we have playing time. And then Quinn McGinn, I would like to use the 50 hours here to go ahead and get the lowdown. Quinn McGinn at 57 man coverage is terrifying, but he does have some good physical skills, 92 speed, 82 acceleration, 87 change. So this guy looks like a guy who needs to learn how to play the cornerback position. He has gotten a couple of scholarship offers, so I don't know how well that's going to work, but that'll be interesting. And then we'll also put Christian Roseboom here. We're going to quickly scout him for 40, and then we'll give him 10 on DM the player, just because it doesn't look like he has made too much headway in deciding. He does have one scholarship offer that we know of from Troy, which is close to his home. So we'll have to see how that works out. Okay, cool. So we now have 9 scholarships out, and we're going to advance to the next week. We're now first on Mr. McCordis, but we also did get knocked off a bunch of other lists. So let's take a look at our recruiting here, and also take a look at how badly we're going to get whooped by Indiana. Okay, recruiting. All right, so Honeycutt has locked this out. I think that that's fair. Let's go ahead and let's take him off the list so we have some hours back. Mr. Levine also doesn't appear to be terribly interested, so we'll go ahead and get him off board. Theo Mason, on the other hand, we're now 6th. We're also his only scholarship offer. Hey, man, you got a home. Come play for us. That's good. We still can't do anything else there. Antoine Stoner, I think it's probably also time to cut bait on you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you giving us your time. Josh Cadella looks very excited to come play at ODU potentially. Very good. Same thing with Callum McCordis. We moved Lyle Strand into 4th. We're his only scholarship offer. Quinn McGinn locked us out. That's unfortunate. Had an epic name. So that is awesome. Okay, then Mr. Roseboom. We have not gotten anything done on you yet. Okay. 86 speed for a thumper is pretty good, so I'm not really terribly concerned about that. I am going to send the house there. Then we have 90 hours remaining, so Rashad Leinert, very much still open here. Let's go ahead and let's get a scout in on him. He is a gem. Okay, cool, definitely. Let's do that. And then Eli McClellan, looks like a dude who has not made too many decisions yet. But we need to get in there fast if we're going to do it, so I don't know about that. We are in Marcus's I think Marcus Ship is super interesting. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a scholarship in for Marcus Ship, and then we are going to hit scout. Okay, very cool. Okay, so we have now reached. You have now stood with me through 4 videos of a preseason for our first year. So I want to thank you for sticking with us. On our next episode, we're going to play our first game. Old Dominion at Indiana. We're going to walk through the Indiana roster, see where the weaknesses are, see where the strengths are, see where we can attack them, and then we'll actually play the game. While we're walking through the game, we'll obviously go through some plays, some scheme stuff, try to get an understanding of how it is that we are going to try to take this team that is much better than us. Quick check. Let's see how much better Indiana is than us. Okay, so we're a 64 and they're an 84. That's 20 points. That's 20 points. My God. How the hell are we going to do that? All right. We're going to try to figure it out. But in the meantime, do me a favor, like, subscribe, follow the channel. Make sure that if you have any suggestions, you have any comments, put them in the comments. I will read every single one of them. If you are a jerk, I will delete your comment. Don't be a jerk. That being said, I hope you have the great rest of your day. Get hyped for week 1. Indiana, Old Dominion in our next episode. And I will see you there. Hyped, ready, lifting stuff. Get excited. Old Dominion Monarchs football, baby. I hope you have an awesome day.